Change those batteries in the smoke detectors. Do y'all hear that beep constantly over and over? We want to be prepared in the event when you cooking that turkey that things go a little differently, and you want to know that you didn't set the house on fire. What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Crystal, and this is my channel, Crystal Saves Cash. So, what are we talking about today? There are less than 30 days left in the year there are less than 30 days left in this year, and I want to give you some tips of things that you should be doing to get ready before the year ends and the new year starts. So, let's go ahead and get into this video. I have my notes here. Tip number one, you want to go through old medications and prescriptions. Throw out anything that's throw out anything that is expired, prescriptions that you no longer need, and call in any refills that you need to go into the next year. The reason why you want to do this is, of course, because you don't want to let your medications run out, and you want to begin your declutter process and get rid of things that you no longer need. So therefore, when friends and family come over and the little kids start roaming around, they don't get into stuff that they don't need to be getting into. My second tip, you want to go ahead and change those batteries in the smoke detectors. Do y'all hear that beep constantly over and over? Most of the time you change them in half part of the year when daylight saving times begins and ends. So of course, when the year ends, you want to go ahead and change that battery again, because we want to be prepared in the event when you cooking that turkey that things go a little differently, and you want to know that you didn't set the house on fire. Tip number three, along with the batteries and the smoke detectors, also go ahead and change those air filters in your furnace or your air conditioner outside. Depending on where you live in the country, you may still be using the air conditioner, or you may be turning on the heat now. So go ahead and change those furnace filters. That way, all that dust that's been sitting in there for all this time, it also does not cause or create a fire or anything like that. And depending on how often you're supposed to change those, it's probably time to go ahead and do that anyway. Tip number four, take down any holiday decor and go ahead and store them. Now, true story, where I currently live, there is a house that I think they put this skeleton up maybe about 4 years ago. And that skeleton goes through Valentine's Day, it goes through Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, on back over to New Year's Eve. So, is that you? Go ahead and take down any of those decorations, store them, and put them away so that they're ready for next year when it's time to use them in the appropriate season. Tip number five, did you get married this year? Did you get divorced this year? Did you have a baby this year? If you did any of those things, then you know what? It's time to review your beneficiaries on all your insurance policies, your bank accounts, your wills, anything that matters, what happens to it if you should no longer be here. So, do you want your ex-wife to still get the life insurance proceeds? Are your information, is everything left to someone that's no longer here? Go ahead and review all of that information and get that corrected before you go into the new year. Tip number six, do you use a budget app? Are your finances all out of order? Is it because your budget app is not up to date? You still haven't logged those transactions from the summertime when you went on that vacation. Let's do better in the new year. So go ahead and update your budget apps while you're off for vacation, for Thanksgiving, Christmas. Take some time to sit down and get those budget apps up and running. So come January 1st, you're ready and we can do better. And then this time next year, you know exactly where all of your money went. Tip number seven, once you've done and updated your budget app, now you want to review and see what happened during the year. Did you end the year with more money, less money? You don't know where the money went. Look at the budget app after you've updated it. Review your expenses so you can be prepared for next year to see, did you spend too much money eating out? Did you spend too much money in gas? Could you have taken a few less trips? Car repairs, did you have a lot of those? You want to start looking at that to see where you need to trim, cut, do a little better, do a little less, or what have you for the new year. So Review the budget app after you've updated and review your expenses to see what happened. Tip number 8. Once you get to Christmas time and everybody's all jolly and festive and you're going around passing out gifts and whatever, if you are still someone, you get a lot of Christmas cards, get a lot of text messages or whatever, look and see who sent you that information. Because what you don't want to do is someone's constantly sending Christmas gifts and Thanksgiving messages and things to you, but you never reply back and send anything to them because you forgot that that's even your friend or what have you. Look at that information, write down and see who reached out to you during the holiday season so that you know that you should reach out to those people during the next year as well, so that you may want to strengthen that bond. If you look at it and you see, okay, this person's constantly texting me, but I don't even like that person, maybe you want to have a conversation. But look at that information and see who reached out to you for the holidays and take note of that information. Tip number 9. This actually goes along with tip number 7, where you reviewed your expenses, and tip number 6, where you updated the budget app. So for tip number 9, what I want you to do is get you a yearly calendar. So do you have all of those dates? It's like rolling around in your head. You know, it's Uncle so-and-so's birthday in April. You know, James reached out to you and said, hey, we're going to do a group trip in September. Sally said we're going to do this in December. But you just have all that information rolling around in your head, trying to figure out how are you going to remember all of this stuff and how are you going to pay for it. This is what I want you to do. Get you a yearly long a yearly long calendar. I prefer dry erase because, of course, on this channel we saving cash, so we don't want to keep buying calendars every year. So get you one that's dry erase. Sit down, write out every month for the entire year. Then take another color, whatever color, doesn't matter. I like to use red because it stands out. So write out the information of all of the birthdays of people that you know. Go back and look at those people that reached out to you during the holidays. Write out their birthdays and information on the calendar. Also, write out all of those commitments and trips and stuff that people are inviting you to, things that you decide you want to do, and finalize that list and say, okay, these are the things that I want to do. Then what I want you to do, go through and also circle whatever days that you get paid. Now, what you have is a visual picture for the entire year of the trips that you want to take, when you need to purchase birthday gifts for people, and you know around what payday this information or these items are coming due. So now you can look and see, okay, it's January 15th. Uncle Sam's birthday is February 1st. Let me pull out $25 that I'm going to cash app him on February 1st, or whatever you plan to do. It's now March 15th, and I know in September I want to take a trip to the Bahamas. Count out how many paydays do you have before when you want to take this trip. So now you can start planning and take out $100 every pay period. Start getting your money for your flight together. And think, when you do this, things are not just popping up and coming. I mean, you're always going to have emergencies, but at least when you do it this way, you can better plan for expenses. When you go on these vacations that you now have planned for, you plan for these birthday gifts and these birthday parties and holiday parties. Now the holidays and birthdays and everything become that much more enjoyable because you're not stressed, because your money and everything has evened itself out and you have planned for these, so you can go and have fun and you can come back home and still have your lights on at the same time too. Tip number 10, and this one is more of a bonus tip, and it has a little bit more detail to it, but what I want you to do is get prepared for tax season that is coming up. And there are a lot of things that you need to do when it comes to that. So what I want you to do with this is stay tuned for my next video, where I'm going to go into more detail on how you can prepare and get ready for tax season for the upcoming year. So that's all I have for you all today. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.